Action!
Artur Bordalo, born in Lisbon 1987, has chosen public space to become the stage for his explorations of color and scale. The excessive production and the consumption of materialistic stuff, which results in the continuous production of garbage and consequently in the destruction of the planet, are the central themes of his production. Artur Bordalo is a highly creative young gun who has spread his stunning artwork very successfully on a global scale and who has turned his art and construction work into a running business.
My grandfather,
Yes?
who was a big inspiration for myself, he was also an artist named Real Bordalo. And he was really a good influencing for me since I was very young. I used to go with him on holidays to his studio to watch him painting, and I don't know, I learned a lot of things with him. And when I found out that I had to decide a name for myself, I thought it would be cool to give like props to the old man. So I used his name, but like a different version. Like if it was a kingdom, it's like a joke.
Is he still alive?
No, he passed away.
But did you choose the name before he passed away?
Before he passed away? Yeah,
Okay.
of course, yeah.
So
I think it's important to do good things while
Yes,
people can
yes,
still enjoy them.
And I see that your work is a lot about sculptural work. Did your grandfather also do sculptural works, or was he more like a painter?
He was more like a painter, like aquarella or oil painting or some whatever other mixed media. But yeah, mostly a painter. He also did some sculpture, but not a lot. He did some ceramics, some experimental stuff. Yeah, but I think that the sculpture thing came after that.
And I mean, since how many years are you working on such a level, like day by day?
It's tricky because working with this kind of work, it's
Yes.
something recent for me. I think I started maybe in 2014 to take it really serious. But I have been in contact with paint, with scale, with art or wherever since very young, as I did graffiti for a long time, and even before that I was always drawing and trying new things. So I don't know, I think I'm in contact with art
Yes.
since ever, but I was active doing things also since I was very young. Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes you do like site-specific artworks, but I can imagine that you sometimes do artworks where the site is not known, where they are going to go. For example, you work on them and then you send them maybe to an art fair or to an exhibition or somewhere, and you don't know the final destination. Is this correct?
Yeah, I think when we are working at what I call the gallery format,
Yes.
we have no idea where the piece is going to go. So yeah, so you just make half of the piece is made for something, the other half the time I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and then of course one of my first thoughts is shipping. So you can reassemble them and assemble them again, or do they always have to be sent in one piece?
Well, most of the pieces are done in one piece, and
Yes.
it is how it is.
Yeah.
But of course, it is something super big that is going to be very difficult to ship or to enter in a place or
Yes.
stuff like that. We can make the piece separated in different parts, and then there is a technical item that anyone can put it all together.
Okay.
Most of the times, it's easier that is a team from my studio to go there and put it all together.
Okay.
Yeah, but sometimes it's something that sometimes there is a technical thing.
For example, how does this leave the studio? In one piece?
In two pieces. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's made already to be separated in two pieces.
And does it already have a destination?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there are 12 like this. They
Yeah.
are lighted pieces. They're going to be in a tunnel under a train bridge in the oriental side of Lisbon.
Wow. But I mean, basically, what you do is that you're using stuff that has no or little value to others, and you put it together, and it gains another value. Is it correct?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and sometimes I think I think it's very interesting if we go really deep in the question, because in the very beginning of my career doing this kind of stuff, you know that after the crisis in Portugal, in Europe, but here we felt it, a lot of small companies went down.
Yes.
And then the buildings were abandoned, so people would go there to steal the metals, the copper and whatever, to sell it to the scrap yards and make a little money. And even after that, other companies went there just to dump trash and stuff that no one really wanted. And that was actually the material that I started to use to my stuff. The stuff that even the homeless or the junkies or people from the street, they don't want it, because there is no value, or there is a very, very low value for these hard plastics that I were using. So I think it's funny that I could use the end of the end of the end to create something and add an art value, and even use it with a message to talk about the whole problem in general of the trash or the consumerism or the contamination and all those things that are destroying that we are using to destroy the planet.
What interests me is I've seen that you're adding like additional techniques to your artworks, for example, light.
Yeah.
And this is new, or since when are you
Yeah,
doing
it's kind of new. It's adding a material and adding a concept to those, because most of the artworks that I'm doing are murals. So
Yes.
it's something that lives in the street together with the advertising or with outdoors. So I found funny that, for example, at night, if you don't have a light lighting your piece, it's in the dark, and then the lighted old school advertising gonna catch you up more than my artwork or my message. So I wanted to create something that's kind of a wolf on the sheep's cloth.
Yeah.
No, it's the opposite actually.
Yeah,
it's
but
it's
everybody
a sheep
understands.
on the wolf, so it looks like he's one of the bad ones trying to sell you
Yes.
something, trying to trick you, but he's not. He's just with the same kind of background or the same kind of structure and the lights and the technique, but he's not trying to sell you nothing. It's talking to you about those problems of the extremely consumerism and the branding and etc.
And I mean, I think your artworks have kind of a presence when they're big and outside. Do you sometimes have the feeling when they're inside that they're losing something, or is it something where you don't care?
I think that they complement each other, because the materials that I'm using outside are not the same that I'm using indoor. And of course, when you are working on a big scale, it's easier to catch your eye and to make the people stop and look. But then you have different public that's going to the galleries or who's going to the museums. So I think outdoor, it's more open to more people.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that there is people that they cannot go to the galleries or the museums or the foundations. It means that maybe they are not interested, or they just don't have that, it's not in their schedule. They are
Yes.
not used to do that. And you can use other materials, you can use other objects, you can use stuff that outside would be ruined really with the sun or the rain really quickly. So yeah, I think that.
So like basically for the inside, would you also use like materials that are more expensive, like nice wood, or is it something that you don't touch because you think wood doesn't have to do anything with the work?
I don't think it's about the quality of the materials. It's more about it's still something without value anyway.
Okay.
The difference is like you can use small objects, for example,
Yes.
that wouldn't last outside, and you can
Okay.
connect
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pieces with the glue, with other things that wouldn't last outside. So yeah.
And then you are also working more delicately, because here sometimes it's very gross with
Yeah.
all the screws.
Yeah, you have to find. Of course, when you are working on something smaller, you
Yes.
can't just bum bum bum. Like you can't do it in the same way as I do with the big pieces.
And I mean, you seem to be very busy. Is it that you're missing time sometimes? So do you have the feeling that you're working, and the demand is so high that you sometimes would want to like slow down a bit and do something more specific?
Yeah, sometimes I feel trapped, but
Okay.
that's something that I'm working on. I mean, trying to organize the studio in a way that I can find more time to try new things, to do
Yes.
new projects, but different things, because when you make something that the people like, most of the people are gonna want it.
Yeah.
And that's something that you know already that's gonna be, it's the base of to pay the whole structure that you have in the studio
Definitely.
around you. But anyway, I'm an artist, I'm a creative,
Yeah.
so it's very important for me to go on other directions, even if the people gonna like it at the first hit or not.
Yeah.
It's important for myself to try other things, to try other objects, to try new materials and create new series of works.
But I think this is very important. You're an artist, you're creative, but are you also in charge of like everything that happens here, or do you have like some studio manager or somebody who's taking off a lot of work?
I have people who's taking off a lot of work from myself. Well, but you have to be on the top of everything anyway.
Yeah.
There is no way you disconnect. I don't know. Also because whatever that's going to happen here, it's like it's your face. You know,
you're responsible.
You're responsible. It's yourself. So
Yeah.
I think it's important to be on the top of the things, even
Yeah.
if you have a lot of responsible people taking care and helping you. You must know what's going on. You can't just arrive here stoned, like
Yeah.
if you just come to make art and you're the creative. No. I'm the responsible guy, and
Yeah.
when you have a structure, you must be responsible to take care of everybody.
But I see that you have struggled dealing with like that people are probably thinking like in a studio like this, everybody's just getting high and this, but I don't see it at all, you know. I think this is like a place where serious work is done. It just looks a bit different, but
Different.
yeah, you know, but I think from a law firm, but I think in some ways it has the same, or it needs the same structure, otherwise it wouldn't function. And there has to be rules.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe other rules, but without rules, I think it will
Yeah.
be very hard.
Yeah, I think it's very flexible in some
Yeah.
aspects, and it's like more open-minded than other studio jobs.
Yeah.
But of course, we have to have rules, because in the end of the day, you have to pay the structure.
Yeah,
and that's a responsibility for everybody who works here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you basically have to create some structure in the chaos.
Yeah, and you have to find a balance between paying the structure and not becoming a crazy capitalist just to manage to do it, because you are still a creative.
Yes.
So you cannot just make beautiful things that you know that people are gonna buy it. You have to find a balance to still do whatever you believe in, do something that I think it got quality as an artistic shape, and make it work. So it's like...
I'm really happy about this last sentence. I think this was worth coming here.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.